I wonder why they call this place Bull's Head Hill.
Centuries of hot days and cold nights had opened a crack in the cliff edge, deep into the living rock.
Apparently, George does not want to risk injury, so we need to find another method of getting down.
A young tree grew at the edge of the drop. I'd damaged that tree enough for one day.
We can see a crack in this hole just here, so hopefully that can act as an anchor point.
The stick I'd broken off was surprisingly hard and inflexible. It was the roller towel from the club washroom, now cut in half along its length by Ultar. With a flourish, I tied the end of the towel to the stick with a textbook reef knot. I could see that crack would make a good anchor point. Centuries of hot days and cold nights had opened a crack in the cliff edge, deep into the living rock. Well, that looked really safe, but I had no choice. I hadn't anticipated going mountaineering when I'd come to Syria. Since I'd started living my life like a Republic serial, I'd taken more stupid risks than a man should take in a lifetime. I was crazy to trust my life to a stick and a washroom towel.
We've done worse so far. This is quite mild.
There was absolutely no way that I was going up that thing again until I'd found why Klausner had wanted to come out here. This country sure was beautiful. I'd have to visit again sometime when I wasn't in such a hurry. Down below, I could see the top of Ultar's soft-top truck. It seemed a hell of a long way down.
I wonder, shall we try it?
I got that, go on, jump, it'll be fun, feeling you sometimes get at the cliff edge. If I managed to land on the truck without hitting a support, I might even survive it. If I'd been a little bit younger and a whole bunch more stupid, I might have gone for it.
Spoil sport.
Close up, the niche looked somehow artificial. I didn't like the idea of putting my hand in there, but there was something in there, a metal ring, as wide as my hand. So, there was a metal ring in the niche. It seemed like another calling card from the Templars. I took a firm hold of the ring and pulled. Whoa there! The work that had gone into this place was impressive. I had to hand it to the Templars. When they built a secret cave, they built a quality secret cave. Without explosives or a pickaxe, there wasn't a whole bundle I could do to the brickwork. Around the corner, I found the corpse. Oh my God. Klausner? Large as life and twice as dead. I'd hardly had time to accept the fact when I heard the door mechanism start up again. Oh man, no! The door had slammed shut, trapping me. I had a bad feeling about how Klausner had died.
Oh dear.
I couldn't help but notice faint bloody finger marks on the rock. as if somebody had tried to claw their way out.
Lovely. I'm guessing that we have a very fingerless corpse right here, or at least one without fingerprints.
Without getting too close, I couldn't see any marks of violence, apart from his fingertips being scraped raw, and that seemed self-inflicted. Klausner had been pretty smart to get this far, but he was still dead.
And so will we be if we're not careful. Why does he look like Indiana Jones?
Okay, all right. Hey, what's this? I'd found some kind of lens, a very old lens made from a very hard glass. That settled it. The knight on the manuscript had been holding a lens the whole time, not a crystal ball. I'd searched Klausner once and knew that the lens was the only thing he'd been carrying. No portable phone, no demolition charges, no 5-course meal. You'd think international conspirators would go around better equipped. A stone head bearing 3 bearded faces. It was a strange image, but a powerful one, redolent with antiquity and ancient mysteries. Sure was an ugly one, though. I couldn't think of anything to do with the statue, apart from scaring small children with it.
This statue here is meant to represent Baphomet. Now, Baphomet first appeared during the First Crusades, and it was originally a name used by troubadours to describe Muhammad, or as a term for Muhammad, and it was well in use until late into the 13th century. It wasn't until the persecution of the Templars where the meaning of Baphomet changed into a false deity that the Templars were meant to worship. The problem is, though, that because the Templars were tortured into confession and no one of the Templars had any idea of what this Baphomet was meant to represent apart from Muhammad, each description they gave was different. Baphomet was described as a cat, a skull, a severed head, and also as a 3-headed face, which is represented here. So yeah, Baphomet was bastardized to fit Philip le Bel's own machinations. Obviously nowadays Baphomet is a completely different meaning. It's now one of the I think it's now used in Satanism to describe the goat. I'm not entirely boned up on it, as you can probably tell, but that is hopefully a brief description that makes some sort of sense.
Up on the wall was an inscription, partially eroded by the ages. Something, something, in accidenta cita est in ora mundi. The Latin was clear enough, but what did it mean? The mouth's opening. It must be Ultar. My God, if he comes in, we'll both be trapped. Ultar! Don't come in! It's a trap! Stay where you are! You!
Hello, Mr. Stobart. We meet in the most unusual places. Please, do not make any sudden moves. I have no desire to maim you.
Did you say maim?
I did. Dead men tell no tales, as you say. And I want to hear everything that you have to tell me.
And what if I don't want to talk?
Then I shall, most regrettably, have to kill you. Rest assured, however, that I am an excellent shot you would not suffer.
Oh, that's good. Believe me, I'm really assured.
It is rather dark in here. I think we should conduct our business outside.
Why should I make myself an easier target?
If I fire at you, Mr. Stobart, I shall hit you even in here. But, unfortunately, my marksmanship will suffer. It could be the difference between hitting you in the leg or the groin.
Boy, it sure is hot in here.
No sudden moves, Mr. Stobart. Now then, where shall we start?
How about being bosom buddies and you putting that gun away?
Klausner, do you know where he is?
Is there any point in lying about it? The guy has a gun pointed to us. He could just walk straight in there and see for himself.
Yep, he's dead. Just around the corner of the cave. You want to look?
I'll take your word for it. How did he die?
Starvation or dehydration by the look of it.
He was caught in this trap you were shouting about? Yes, I suspected as much. The Templars were not ones to give away their secrets lightly. Was he carrying anything of importance?
Again, there's no point in lying. He could just shoot us, and I'm sure he will root for our belongings when we die.
Yeah, he was carrying some sort of lens. I've got it with me.
Give it to me.
I don't think so.
Don't be a fool, Mr. Stobart.
If I give it to you, what's to stop you killing me?
What is to stop me killing you anyway?
You might hit the lens.
Not if I shoot you in the head.
When I fall, the lens might get broken.
Yes. You plead convincingly, Mr. Stobart. Perhaps you will live to see another day. Perhaps. Was there anything else?
I guess so. Oh yes, the map.
Well, there was something in Latin up on the wall.
What did it say?
In accidenta cita est, in ora mundi.
Ah, the words of Caesar. Yes, that makes sense.
Well, I know that roughly it means to the west, to the edge of the world. But what the heck is that about?
It tells me where the sword of Baphomet lies. Mr. Stobart, I am sure that you are just what you appear to be. A gifted amateur.
Thanks, I think.
But I can no longer tolerate your interference. There is far more at stake than you realize. I cannot risk you inadvertently helping my enemies.
So what are you going to do?
I regret that we must end this here and now.
What exactly do you mean?
I am a professional. You will feel no pain.
Oh, man. You're going to kill me?
Your only choice now is whether you die like a man or like a dog.
Woof woof. And is that meant to be a dog face? Wow. Let's take it like a man.
Okay, you're the boss. I'll take my medicine.
You are an honorable man, Mr. Stobart. A rare breed. I should like to shake your hand.
Yeah. Well, what the heck? It was a long way down. Below, I could see Ultar's truck.
A handshake, you say? Of course.
Luckily, the canopy on Ultar's truck broke my fall.
Thank goodness for that.
The worst part of the experience was Ultar's driving.
What about the lens? Is it still in one piece?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you again, George.
Really? Well, I have to say, I'd have enjoyed Syria a lot more if you'd been there.
I wouldn't have been much help. Anyway, you did just fine on your own.
Oh, George. You soppy thing, you.
Have you any idea what this lens might be used for?
As a magnifying glass, obviously. I'm sure you'll find it very Useful.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Okay.
As is tradition.
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
Oh, I was hoping to show her the toilet chain.
Does this lens mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
See you later.
That's right, monsieur. You will.
We may as well speak to Lobino and let her know what we have found.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur? Oh, it's you. Well, what do you want now? You're not going to try to hide in that closet again, are you?
If I want to hide in a closet, I'll hide in a closet.
I hear your tripod was stolen.
Nothing travels faster than bad news. It is true. It happened last night. I always said that alarm was no good.
So we travelled to Syria and back in one day? That's quite impressive.
Does this lens mean anything to you?
Not a thing, monsieur.
Thanks for your help.
How long would a plane flight be from Paris to Syria? Must be at least, what, 4 hours? 5 hours?
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
What's with the long face?
Haven't you heard? The tripod was stolen.
No kidding.
I just don't get it. So many other treasures, and the thieves choose the tripod.
A modern-day alchemist, perhaps?
Who knows? There's no shortage of crazies in Paris. Hey, I visited Nicole's apartment.
Yeah, she told me you came by.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie boy. I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course. Where have you been? Nicole said you were away.
I just returned from Syria.
Syria? On the trail of the Templars?
It's a long story, but I found the bull's head. It was referred to on the manuscript, remember?
Yes, what is it?
A secret cave built into a high cliff face. In the cave, I discovered a map bearing a phrase in Latin. In accidenta cita est in ora mundi.
The island of Britain.
Lies at the edge of the world, to the west.
Strange. That map seems to contain a series of pointers.
Like I said, it's a treasure map. What did you make of the manuscript?
It dates from the time of the Crusades.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story and pictures like a modern-day comic book.
What story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
Oh, oui, pilgrims in their thousands on their way to Jerusalem. The tourist trade is nothing new, you know. It's been around for centuries. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of Jericho.
Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras.
Who's he?
A Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No, they're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They're probably long dead.
Do you think the manuscript could be the map to the Templar treasure?
Frankly, no. That's too far-fetched. The manuscript is interesting enough and a rare find, but that's all.
Wouldn't it be terrific if it was a map, though? The treasure of the Knights Templar.
A romantic notion, Georgie, but extremely improbable.
Does this lens mean anything to you?
Nothing.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
He was quite helpful, and I really do hope he was talking about the manuscript. Because he is friends with Nicole, I'm sure they met before. Anyway, I guess that we're going to the Costa Calida, even though we have taken a day trip to Syria and back. Imagine the jet lag George has right now.